Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 475 based on novel. So let's start. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, 3 days went by. During these 3 days, Wang Lin continued to move the rejection force into the 6 ancient devil stars to help withstand the rejection force. The 6 ancient devil stars gradually became golden and were hidden under the golden thunder, making them very difficult for outsiders to see them. This slowly suppressed the intense rejection force in his body and caused the speed of its growth to slow down a bit. However, this method would only delay the danger and not resolve the problem at the root. This rejection force was like a shadow that hovered over Wang Lin's mind. Wang Lin opened his eyes. His expression was very gloomy. He didn't even look at the madman but looked at the sky. I remember that after I obtained the Li Guang bow, the nether beast appeared and spat out the golden storm. I sent out a message for the nether beast to devour me, so right now I should be inside world within the nether beast. If I wanted to leave, it would be very easy. While he was pondering, the madman saw that Wang Lin had woken up. He suddenly began to point at Wang Lin and shout, "Tell me who taught you the immortal celestial body? This king wants to see which bastard dared to do this." The madman was filled with anger. Wang Lin was startled for a moment and looked at the madman. As he looked, he carefully recalled everything he had seen. He was certain that this person was indeed a madman, and a madman with very poor memory. This person had great origin. He called himself king, and his words were shocking. Who the hell was he? Seeing Wang Lin's gaze, his expression became excited. He seemed to forget why he was so angry and revealed a mischievous smile. "Ah, little girl, smile for this king. This king will give you a reward. I will definitely give you a reward." Wang Lin frowned and his expression became indifferent. Ignoring this madman, he waved his hand and a bow appeared. However, the string on it had broken, making the bow unusable. Looking at the bow with a complicated gaze, Wang Lin let out a sigh and began to ponder. What method can I use to deal with the issue of this rejection force? After seeing Wang Lin ignoring him, the madman let out a cold snort and muttered, "If you're not going to smile, then don't smile. This king won't reward you. This king's blood is very precious. I'm not going to give you a single drop, not a single drop." Although he was saying this, he rolled his eyes and revealed a proud smile. He smiled at Wang Lin and said, forget it, this king is generous. Since you're shy, you can smile later. So, little girl, tell this king your name, this king will reward you." "You won't even say your name. You're going to anger me to death, you. You should at least tell me your family name. You're still not going to say it? Good, this king likes stubborn little girls like you. The more you act like this, the more excited this king will be." The madman laughed and began to speak again. As he spoke, he began to walk around Wang Lin. Wang Lin gradually grew irritated from listening. He looked up at the madman and said, "Noisy." The madman was startled and his eyes widened. He stared at Wang Lin and roared, "No one dares to speak to this king like this. You got a big..." There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes and he waved his right. A gust of golden wind that even the planet shook appeared. The madman let out a miserable scream and was blown far away. There was finally some peace and quiet. Wang Lin lowered his arm and began to ponder once more. However, Wang Lin had underestimated the determination of the madman. He didn't think for long before a roar came from the distance and the madman quickly ran back. He was very fast and arrived before Wang Lin in a flash. He let out a roar and was about to speak. "Do?" Wang Lin waved his hand and the storm appeared again. The madman let out a miserable and was blown away again. Once, twice, 3 times. Until 7 or 8 times. The madman would always quickly rush back and roar as if he wanted to finish that sentence. However, he never had the opportunity and would be swept away every time he came back. That miserable scream was extremely clear on this abandoned planet. It wasn't until the 15th time that the coldness in Wang Lin's eyes became even stronger. He faintly heard a hint of cheerfulness in the madman's miserable scream. After the madman came back, Wang Lin didn't wave his hand but waited for him to finish speaking. So exciting! The madman was filled with excitement. After he roared at Wang Lin, he immediately closed his eyes. He looked intoxicated, as if he was waiting for something. After a moment, there was a hint of doubt on his face and he opened his eyes to look at Wang Lin. Wang Lin also looked at him, and the coldness in Wang Lin's eyes became even stronger. Fly, 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 the madman blinked and jumped a few times before he stretched his arms out to fly. Seeing how Wang Lin wasn't reacting, he became annoyed and looked at Wang Lin. After jumping a few more times, he angrily said, "This king is playing happily, you better continue right now." Wang Lin felt like he was going to collapse. He clenched his teeth but didn't wave his sleeve. Instead, he stood up and directly kicked the madman in the buttocks. He used 70% of the physical power he could use without causing the rejection force to appear. This force was enough to fight a mid-stage Nirvana Void Cultivator. A powerful wind swept by and Wang Lin's kick landed on the madman. The madman let out an excited, miserable scream as his body was kicked into the air. He stretched open his arms and his body flew off into the distance, drawing an arc. A moment later, the madman ran back for the 17th time. His excitement had reached a limit. He didn't speak but roared at Wang Lin and then immediately turned around. He lifted his buttocks, closed his eyes, and opened his arms. Wang Lin clenched his fist, and after taking a deep breath, he calmed down. "Do you like roars?" "Good." Wang Lin raised his hand and reached at the void. A rift to his storage space appeared and he pulled out a large, black ape. This black ape was the one Wang Lin had found on a continent in the Cloud Sea. It was weak but liked to roar. When the black ape appeared, it let out a roar. Its powerful arms hit its chest, creating drum-like sounds. The madman was startled and turned to look at the black ape. He had a look of excitement when he arrived before the black ape and roared. He also learned from the ape and hit his chest. The black ape's eyes were filled with doubt as it stared at the person before him. It felt like this person was provoking it. Although this person gave off a terrifying aura, thanks to Wang Lin's will, that fear dissipated and was replaced by anger, so it began to roar in anger. Just like this, the person and ape faced each other and roared at each other. Both wanted to suppress the other. The roars became even more intense. Wang Lin let out a sigh of relief and no longer bothered with the madman. He closed his eyes and pondered a solution to deal with the rejection force. He gradually thought of some ideas. The most difficult of my 5 essences are life and death, karma, and true and false. If these 3 essences can be completed, I will be able to control this rejection force. I could use the life and death essence to split the rejection force into life and death. Then I could use the karma essence to form a world and allow the rejection life and death force to form a cycle. Finally, I could use the true and false essence to deceive the rejection force like the Tao of deception so that the celestial and ancient order powers would completely fuse into one. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he carefully thought about this, and determination filled his eyes. If all of that happens, the completion of the 5 essences would allow my 5 fingers to be complete, then I could open the void gate to become a real 3rd-step cultivator. How strong will I be then? Wang Lin clenched his fist. Life and death, karma, and true and false. How could I cause these 3 essences to reach completion? From my analysis from before, I was lacking something that could increase my chances. Dao fruit, I need a few more Dao fruit. The more the better. While pondering, the roars gradually got lower and lower. The black ape seemed to not be able to keep up the continuous roaring, and its voice had gotten hoarse. It looked at the madman with fear in its eyes. It retreated a few steps. The black ape didn't dare to roar anymore and looked pleadingly at Wang Lin. The madman became even more proud even though he was also tried and his voice was also hoarse. The excitement on his face became even more intense and he hit his chest with a big smile. This king has been roaring at my big brother ever since I was growing up. Little Red is always after of my roars. Everyone on the celestial immortal continent knows that my voice is the loudest and the most beautiful. You little monkey, you dare to roar against this king? Come, 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 after we finish competing with roars, we can compete spells. See how pretty this king's spells are? The madman grasped with his right hand and raised into the sky, then a flash of light appeared in the sky. A giant palm appeared in the sky, giving off a powerful pressure. The palm print was clearly visible and it descended from the sky. War Spirit Print. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his expression changed. He remembered now that when he couldn't move, the madman had used various spells on him, and each of them were extremely authentic. Staring the descending War Spirit Print, Wang Lin was moved. This was the other great fortune this madman had given him after the celestial bloodline. Wang Lin's eyes became serious as he stared at the giant palm in the sky. It seemed to appear out of thin air, and ripples spread out from it. Every single line on the palm was extremely clear. It looks like a real palm and not a fake one. This print was very similar to the War Spirit Print Wang Lin knew, but there were some subtle differences. The War Spirit Print he knew was a giant palm with no clear palm print. After appearing, it would absorb a large amount of origin energy, making it extremely large. It contained shocking power but was not easy to control. As the War Spirit Print grew larger and absorbed more power, he would eventually lose control. Wang Lin knew that this was because he hadn't obtained the inheritance and had only learned it from watching. The real War Spirit Print used by Daoist Water didn't have that flaw. However, even the War Spirit Print used by Daoist Water didn't have a palm print as clear as the one used by this madman. There were also no strange ripples along its edges. These ripples looked like the most powerful technique from the Black Tortoise. The power of vibration. As Wang Lin observed, his expression became very serious. He watched the War Spirit Print directly fall on the ground, and the earth trembled. A shockwave caused the area to be surrounded in dust. Wang Lin was also inside the palm and felt the palm land on him. He was pondering the changes in the inner workings of this palm. What a powerful War Spirit Print! The vibration shakes the heavens and earth as if it were enslaving the world. To enslave the origin energy of the world to form a palm. Or to enslave the origin energy of the world to form a spirit. This spirit is then surrounded by celestial spiritual energy before it forms this print. There are still some details that aren't clear. I would need the inheritance to find the secret. Wang Lin licked his lips and his eyes lit up. After the dust settled, the madman laughed with a smug smile. How is it? How is it? Is this king's spell powerful? The madman seemed to be showing off before the black ape but was, in fact, looking at Wang Lin with a proud smile. Wang Lin smiled. He looked at the madman, and his smile became even brighter. After the madman saw Wang Lin's smile, he became confused. He lowered his head and looked at his body before scratching his head. He didn't know why Wang Lin was smiling. Wang Lin calmly said, "This spell is okay, but I know this spell as well, and mine is more powerful than yours." The madman revealed disdain as he pointed at Wang Lin and bared his teeth. "This king's spell is the most powerful. Except for my big brother, no one is better than me. Hee, do you want to secretly learn from me? Let this king tell you, my big brother said I can't teach anyone my spells. Even if you beat me to death, I won't teach you. Back then, who wanted to steal from me, but I saw through him. HMPH, this king is very clever, you don't even want to cheat me." Without a word, Wang Lin raised his right hand up at the sky and pressed down. The sky rumbled and a vague palm print appeared. As soon as it appeared, it began to frantically absorb origin energy. The palm print gradually became clearer and smashed down toward the ground. As the palm print descended, a powerful pressure descended and wind began to howl. The earth trembled and a giant rift opened on the surface of the planet. The madman's messy hair and eyes were filled with dullness as he stared at the palm print. At the moment it was going to land, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He took a deep breath and pointed forward. "Gather, gather, gather." After saying, "gather," 3 times, the palm print shrank rapidly, and as it shrank, it showed signs of instability, as if it was going out of control. Finally, It landed on the planet. The whole planet shook, causing the madman to jump into the air. A giant palm print was clearly imprinted in the earth in the distance. It was tens of thousands of feet wide and looked like a giant sinkhole. If you can create a sinkhole this big with this spell, then I'll admit your spell is good, Wang Lin said slowly, purposely revealing a hint of contempt. It was this hint of contempt that made the madman's eyes turn red. He continued to wave his arms and hit his chest like a drum as he roared. He had just learned this from the black ape and felt that doing so was very domineering. This king is the strongest, just you wait. The madman was filled with anger. He stepped forward and pointed up at the sky with his right hand. He roared and a giant palm print appeared, and with a wave of his hand, the palm print fell. The palm print landed on the ground, kicking up a large amount of dust and leaving a shallow imprint. The madman was startled for a moment. After looking at the shallow imprint and then at the sinkhole Wang Lin had made, madness appeared in his eyes. He let out an even more intense roar and began to bombard the ground. Wang Lin was completely focused on the side, his eyes flashing like crazy. He began deducing the spell. At this moment, he had forgotten about everything beside the madman using the war spirit print over and over again. There would never be another opportunity like this for someone to use the same spell before him over and over again. It was very unlikely even between teacher and student. After half an hour, the madman had used dozens of consecutive war spirit prints, causing the mark on the ground to be a bit deeper. However, it was far from being as deep as the sinkhole Wang Lin had created. The madman was running out of breath and felt very tired from using the spell. He thought about giving up when he secretly looked at Wang Lin and saw the scorn and ridicule on Wang Lin's face. This made him angry. Damn it, this king refuses to believe it. He let out a roar as if he had forgotten how tired he was and bombarded the ground with war spirit prints. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Every time he was about to give up, he would see the contempt on Wang Lin's face. He couldn't stand this look from Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with blood. He was carefully observing while his right hand was waving before his body. He was using his shocking comprehension to figure out this spell. After 6 hours, the madman had launched hundreds of war spirit prints. He was covered in sweat and his tongue was sticking out. It was as if he couldn't gasp fast enough. Damn it, too tired. This old man won't play. If I can't win, I can't win, so what? This king is going to sleep, he muttered. Just as he was about to give up, he looked at Wang Lin. He was startled for a moment. He saw a hint of shock on Wang Lin's face. It was this hint of shock that made the madman that was about to give up excited. He let out a roar and his hands hit his chest. If Wang Lin still had that look of disdain, he would have chosen to ignore Wang Lin because he was too tired. However, the shock on Wang Lin's face gave him confidence. Ha ha, this little girl finally stopped underestimating me. HMPH, this king has to put more strength into it to show you how strong this king is. The madman became excited and began bombarding again. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he quickly began to comprehend the spell. As time passed, the palm print became more and more clear until it was engraved in his mind. This palm print became more and more profound. 7 hours, 8 hours. Until 9 hours later, the red-eyed madman let out a roar and let out a final war spirit print. The earth rumbled, and after 9 hours, the imprint was finally almost as deep as the one Wang Lin had made. After doing all of this, the madman started crawling on the ground with a tired expression, but he still looked at Wang Lin and shouted with a hoarse voice, "How is it? How is it? Isn't this king's spell the most powerful?" Wang Lin revealed a hint of shock and slowly said, "I'll have to personally examine it." "Go check it, this king will wait," the madman said with disdain, but he couldn't conceal the joy in his eyes. Wang Lin's shock made him feel content, as if all the exhaustion he felt was nothing. Wang Lin got up and made his way to the pit the madman had made. He began to carefully observe. Although the madman was resting, he was constantly staring at Wang Lin's expression. He wanted to see how shocked Wang Lin would get. However, the madman felt like something was wrong. Wang Lin's expression was originally filled with shock, but that shock gradually disappeared. A calmness replaced it, and the hint of contempt that he couldn't bear reappeared. After seeing the contempt on Wang Lin's face, the madman became angry. He stared at Wang Lin and railed. "I didn't expect you to be so sinister. Your spell clearly can't compare to mine, and you secretly cheated." Wang Lin shook his head and the contempt on his face became even stronger. He turned around and sat down without even looking at the madman. The madman was frozen for a moment. His face turned completely red and he rushed to Wang Lin. "I didn't, this king didn't," he roared. Wang Lin's eyes widened and he coldly said, "The spell you've been using this whole time is not the same as the one from the start. Don't try to deceive me. You're falsely accusing me. This king used the same spell. I can't be wrong. You go take a closer look, take a closer look. This king didn't lie to you." The madman was getting anxious, and there was even a hint of water in his eyes. He felt very wronged, very, very wronged. He had toiled for several hours to reach this point and then was unexpectedly called a liar. "I have already seen through it, it's not the same." Wang Lin's words were firm as he coldly looked at the madman. There was a hint of regret shown within this contempt. It was this hint of regret that made the water inside the madman's eyes become even more intense, and in the end he actually cried. When he started crying, Wang Lin felt sorry in his heart. He felt like an uncle trying to cheat the toy out of a child's hand. "Forget it, karma, karma. I've met this person inside the nether beast. He gave me the celestial bloodline, and now I'm obtaining his spells with this method. I'll have to repay him eventually. Cultivators rarely go crazy, so there must be a great story behind him. Wang Lin, remember my benefactors. I vow that in the future, all his business will be mine as well." Wang Lin looked at the madman again, but now there was a hint of softness hidden in his gaze. This king didn't lie, this king used the same spell as before. This spell is called the War Spirit Print. My big brother stole it from the twin celestial sovereign and then passed it to me. It seemed the madman hadn't washed his face in a long time. As his tears flowed down, 2 lines of black mud appeared on his face. He wiped his tears as he looked at Wang Lin with a gaze filled with grievance and roared. "If you don't believe me, I'll tell you the secret chant. This king has never lied since I was little, because my big brother said he would hit me if I lied." The madman felt extremely wronged, and without thinking, he recited the chant for the War Spirit Print. See, this is the secret chant. You go cultivate it yourself and go see it yourself. Then you will see that I didn't lie to you. I clearly won through my hard work, but you won't believe me. I'm not going to play with you." The madman became angry again and walked to the side. He was still filled with grievance as he sat down and deliberately didn't look at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's heart pounded. He memorized the chant. He then secretly muttered in his mind, and the part he didn't understand suddenly became clear. He pointed at the sky and an authentic War Spirit Print appeared. Although it didn't descend, a powerful pressure spread out. As he looked at the War Spirit Print, Wang Lin's pupils shrank and excitement filled his heart. With his cultivation level, he could tell that this War Spirit Print was not just a spell but a Dao spell. An extremely powerful Dao spell that could destroy the heavens and earth. This spell could instantly multiply Wang Lin's strength through some mysterious method. Most importantly, there were 3 sources of power inside this palm. If all 3 were used, 3 palms would descend to kill the body, origin soul, and soul at the same time. The 1 Daoist water used could only kill the body. The Dao spell I learned now is the real War Spirit Print. Wang Lin took a deep breath. After firmly memorizing the War Spirit Print, he looked at the madman. In his eyes, this lunatic was like a huge treasure chest that could burst at any moment. "Okay, don't cry. I admit your spell is really powerful, and I was wrong to blame you." Wang Lin got up and apologized. There was a hint of softness in his gaze as he clasped his hands. The madman let out a snort and turned his face so he didn't look at Wang Lin. Wang Lin let out a wry smile and his right hand reached out as he pondered. He opened his storage space and took out some pills. He picked pills that had very strong fragrance the moment they were taken out. The madman's nose suddenly moved and subconsciously sniffed. He licked his lips but forced himself to not look. However, he kept glancing over. HMPH, what do these pills count as? The worst pills this king fed Little Red were much better than these. Wang Lin revealed a smile that wasn't a smile as he held a pill and squeezed. It immediately broke and the fragrance quickly spread. The madman suppressed the impulse, but his belly rumbled. It had been a very, very, very long time since he had devoured any pills, and now he felt like it was a bit unbearable. I'll give these pills as compensation for blaming you, okay? Wang Lin's voice was gentle as he waved his hands. These several pills flew toward the madman and floated there. The madman swallowed hard. He turned around and stared at the pill. He said with disdain, "This king wouldn't even look at them in the past, they are just trash. However, since you seem to be flattering me, this king will reluctantly take them." As he spoke, his right hand quickly reached out and grabbed the pills. His eyes lit up when he put them in his mouth. He crushed them in a few bites and quickly swallowed them. Wang Lin revealed a smile and clasped his hands. "Your spell is indeed amazing, but is that the only one, I wonder?" The madman was proud, but he suddenly looked at Wang Lin and became on guard. "I remember someone saying that to me before. Who was it?" "Little Red, who was it?" Forget it. But this king remembers that person said those words to cheat me of my spells. HMPH, this king is wise, how can I be fooled? Don't even try to cheat me out of my Dao spells. Even if I die, I won't tell you any secret chants or spells." The madman raised his head and let out a cold snort, giving off a feeling like he was high above. He shook his head and let out a sigh. Learning too many Dao spells is a very annoying thing. This king's talent is simply too high. Since you're so respectful, I'll show you, but there is no way I'll teach you. After the madman spoke, he stood up and stretched his arms. He proudly raised his right hand and then the sky suddenly turned dark. Bright red light appeared and a huge umbrella suddenly appeared. This umbrella used the sky as the umbrella canopy, and the pole formed from the endless sea of fire. A destructive fire suddenly spread out in all directions, forming 9 umbrella-like fire seeds. These fire seeds gave off an extremely terrifying aura. Wang Lin's pupils shrank. He recognized that this spell was similar to the realm-burning umbrella he knew, but the difference was that he had to open the umbrella when he used his own spell. However, the umbrella was already open when the madman used it. It looked similar, but the difference was like heaven and earth. How is it? This king is strong. If the umbrella closes, the power is very strong. The madman waved his right hand and the umbrella disappeared from the sky. HMPH, I just won't teach you. I'll let you see it, but you can't learn it. Let this king show you more. The madman proudly raised his hand and formed a pose as if he was going to shoot a bow. If he had a bow in his hand, Wang Lin would recognize it looked almost exactly the same as the pose Li Guang had made. Read Renegade Immortal novel at Read Novel Full. A shocking arrow energy came from the madman like crazy. It was as if the world would be torn apart by this arrow energy if he let go. This king knows a lot more, what does this count as? The madman's mood seemed to change, especially after seeing Wang Lin become so serious. He became smug once more and let out another roar. He loosened his hand and the shocking arrow energy dissipated. At the same time, his hands formed a seal and he waved his hand. The world trembled and the 7 colors of red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, blue, and purple appeared. These 7 lights quickly gathered to form a 7-colored lance. This lance was heaven-shaking and occupied the entire sky. The sky rippled as if it was going to be shattered by the lance. Wang Lin felt his skin crawl, and cold sweat covered his body. The 7-colored light contained the power of emotions. When it appeared, it seemed to be able to affect the emotions of anyone who saw it. It was similar to ethereal fire, but Wang Lin felt that it was far stronger than ethereal fire. The madman laughed and loosened his hand. The sky returned to normal. His face was filled with exhilaration and smiles. How is it? How is it? Isn't this king strong? Do you want to learn? Do you want to? This king will tell you, there are too many people that want to learn my Dao spells. HMPH, what has this king not seen? No one can deceive me, even if you beat me to death, I won't teach you. Even if you want to learn, it is useless, this king can't help it. A real pity, the madman shook his head and became even more proud. Let me guess how you will respond. I remember someone's answer was that they didn't want to learn and pretended to be indifferent to evoke this king's interest. The result was ha ha, ha ha. I'll let you guess the result, ha ha, ha ha. I'm going to laugh to death, the madman immediately began laughing and holding his stomach. If you answer yes, then this king will severely reject you. Little girl, this king is very strict, even if you try to seduce me, it is useless, ah. The madman began chattering again and became more and more excited as he talked. Looking at the madman, Wang Lin slowly smiled. I remember that in the nether beast's memory, this person didn't know about the nether beast and was very afraid of it. Wang Lin's smile became even stronger. The madman felt like something bad was going to happen when he saw Wang Lin staring at him with a smile. He seemed to vaguely remember that it was after that smile that he spent hours using the war spirit print until he was breathless. Just at this moment, the cultivation planet trembled and the sky darkened as if a storm was going to appear. A thunderous rumble echoed and a huge phantom slowly appeared. The phantom was very large and looked like a whale. It had 2 long whiskers that danced in the wind. It was the nether beast. After hearing Wang Lin's call, a phantom of it appeared inside its own world. The moment it appeared, the pride on the madman's face suddenly collapsed. His pupils shrank, his body trembled violently, and he let out a miserable scream. Ah, you chased me to this place. Damn it to hell, you still won't let me go. I don't taste good, I really don't taste good, ah. This video will end here.